Okay, so continuing then with the legs, I added some quick shading, and when you're working from your mind, you really don't have to worry about adding all the little bumps and details that you're going to get in a photograph, and especially just for your sketches. I guess for a really finished piece, you might want to really, get some photo references and try to go all out with it. But keep in mind, you have three basic shades. You're going to have your shadow, which will be the darkest shade. Then you'll have your midtone, which will be like so. Then you'll have your highlight, which is the paper. The highlight I left here and here, and the highlight is always going to be on the part of the body that is facing out closer. Remember, it's a 3D thing, so you got to think of this curve like this. Let's say that's the leg. Then the part that's highest is going to be here. That's where your highlight's going to go. So you got to think of it like a cylinder. And when you have a cylinder, the top that's going to be reaching the light is always going to be towards the center. So you have the light, which will be hitting here mostly and here mostly. Another thing is you have your darkest part, which will be the shadow here. Almost like a cylinder, but you don't want to make it quite like a cylinder because otherwise the leg will look funny. And then this side here is going to be shaded but halftone almost, because it's receiving a little bit of reflected light. And the same thing on this side here. I have that kind of line there, and then this is a slightly, I don't know if you can see it on this webcam, it's kind of bad, but then you can see the reflected light here. And just good to shade it that way. And then you have the darkest part in here because this is where the shadow, because the light can't reach there, so that's you're going to have pure shadow, and then you'll have shades of halftone here and a little bit of line like that. Then in the knee you'll have a little bit of darkness like that. There you go. So I'm going to then go ahead and shade some of this one here real quick to do the leg. So we'll do the same thing. So we'll start here by drawing in where I'm going to want the deepest shadow parts where the light's not going to be reaching. Just kind of go like that. I'm going to actually have that line coming up here a little bit more. We'll say the knee's going to be like this. I'm just going to do the knee this time like that. Okay, so starting with this leg first, I will draw in my shade, just kind of shade it in, and then I'm doing one stroke towards me, feathering it towards me. I'm not going up and down, just feathering it towards me each time. Now that with the paper, that's going to be your highest part. Now I'm going to do the same thing on this side here, and start coming towards like that, and then rub it with my fingers, and there you go. And if you want, you can take a eraser and erase a little bit, but there's no need to, so I'm not going to. I'm going to add this a little bit darker here. I'm just coming down towards myself only, like so. And I'm going to slightly feather that out like that, and then kind of rub it in. And see, like that. And then I can add just a little highlight where it's going to be lightest. Okay. So there you have it. And then with this side, a little different. I'm going to add a little more darkness in this right here, since that's going to be receiving less light altogether. Just light high tone here and here. Add a little bit darker for the knee, coming in with that part. Add a little bit of darkness there for that little muscle. Shove a little bit of tone to her leg, little buffness. And again, I'm going to leave that highlight line there. And then I'm going to draw the darkness, and I'm not making it too much darker. It's not as dark as the shadow, obviously, but just a little darker right here. Hopefully this will come through on the camera. Oops, that line's not even supposed to be there. I don't know what that line is. Go ahead and erase it. This is supposed to come to the knee, like that. Oh, that's right, the other leg would come out, and I'd have the darkness. There we go. Okay. So you can see that line just a little bit, hopefully. I'm going to try to get closer to the camera just so you can see what I'm talking about there. I'll try to, hold on a second, see if I can focus this a little better. So you see that line right here? So and I don't want it, and I want to just kind of feather it in like so, like that. Then you'd have a little line on this side over here as well, but just barely. You don't want it to be too much. Okay. Let's go ahead and focus this back to where... Yeah, I definitely need to get a better camera, one that is less grainy. Okay, so that is really shading for the legs and the basic muscles for the legs, and I think I've covered the legs pretty good. Trying to think what else maybe real quickly we can go through with the leg and the contour. Let's see. I think that pretty much covers it. Okay, so I'll go ahead and actually maybe, I don't know if I have enough time. I could. No, I think that covers it pretty much. Again, just remember that you have this side is kind of like that, and then you can actually draw this side different ways, just up to you. And that's the basic shapes, and if you want you can actually just draw this side like that and then draw the knee, so it's up to you. And you can add different buffness by remembering the muscles and stuff, like muscles and so forth. Remember that you have the three muscles in the leg. You have this muscle that comes here, you have that muscle that comes here, and you have this muscle that comes like that. So then you have your knee, you have your calf muscles. Okay.